Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello and welcome, people, to Footy Judgment. Welcome to Rivals Rumble, people. This is going to be an epic show. Conor Gallagher finally done, finally gone from Chelsea Football Club. They banished the guy and they twisted his arm to let him go. The captain of last year of Chelsea is treated like a dog. Is Conor dog? Gala dog was treated like a dog. They banished him from the team. They forced him to move away. That is what happened. They literally forced the guy to move away from Chelsea. They said they didn't want to lose money on the guy, and they offered him a 2-year contract, and they forced him away. And instead of Conor Gallagher, on the other direction, they are signing Omorodion to start up top. Him and Nicholas Jackson to start up top for Chelsea. Gallagher is gone. They are signing Omorodion to start up top. An upcoming player, of course, plays good music, plays good football, of course, up top. Omorodion is going to be a signing for Chelsea. A lot of people are praising the player, saying they see Lukaku in him. Some people say they see Jackson. Some people, they say, what's his name? Dayo can help me here. The guy from Forest. Dayo, help me, the Nigerian guy.
Yeah, from
Awoni. Yeah.
Is it Awoni?
Awoni.
Awoni. Yeah. Awoni.
They said they see Awoni in him. But listen, Manchester United moving like a big club finally. They moved away from Ugarte. They didn't want to pay the money, and they are looking for another midfielder. But if not, they might get Fofana, you know? They might get Fofana, and Man United are moving into the right directions. Our rivals are hating that. And Arsenal, of course, we'll talk about Arsenal. They missed out on Julian Alvarez, 95 million. euros for Julian Alvarez, Manchester City got. And Arsenal now, did Manchester City actually lose Julian Alvarez, or it was just a win situation? We'll talk about that as well. Listen, we'll talk about, we have to start with the Conor Gallagher situation. We have to start. But listen, people, if you're here now, hit that like button. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, people. We're just going to try to be as objective as we can. Of course, Chelsea playing about 3 hours against Real Madrid. We have to watch Maresca ball. And listen, I'm here with Dio. I'm here with Ahmed. Chez can't make it. Will can't make it. And Patrick had an emergency and he had to not go. So the guys are good enough and we'll just do it. How is everybody feeling? How is everyone doing? How is everyone feeling?
Listen, man, I'm feeling sensational, amazing. You know what I mean? It's another day.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Ahmed's doing some copium, bro. He's not happy with the Chelsea transfers. I can tell, man. I can tell.
What do you mean, man? Listen, man, don't worry, man. It's all good. It's all good in the hood, as they say.
I like how Ahmed is always smiling, but underneath you can see the bubbling waters as he's always on top. You see, Ahmed is like a duck. You know, like
Which
ducks.
one?
Like ducks, you know, ducks on top of water, right? They look smooth as they're going.
Which Ahmed, me or
no, Chelsea.
It's
Ahmed Chelsea.
oh,
Ahmed Chelsea. How is it smiling? Like you know how ducks look smooth on top of the water, but underneath they're paddling like crazy to stay afloat. Their legs are. That's Ahmed. On the front, he's smiling. Underneath, just like what the crazy is going on in my club? Losing his calm underneath. But yeah, I'm doing good as well, man. I'm doing great. It's been a hectic period, but yep, we're back at it. So this Conor Gallagher thing. Okay, let me be objective about it. I don't like the way you put the intro, Mo. I think that they realized that he's not going to work for the type of football that Maresca wants to play. They offered him 2 different contracts, which he turned down. And even up until he agreed for this Atletico deal late in the night, which is when he agreed for the deal, he waited till 3 a.m. before his agents actually sent a reply to Atletico, because Atletico had given them a deadline saying, if you don't want to do the deal, let us know. By this time, we're going to pull out of the deal. The point is, I think he also wanted to force their hand so he could go on the free next year, which would mean that they would be losing money. Let's look at them as a business. As a business, a homegrown player, an academy player, which would have been full profit, would have gone for free next year. As a business, you're not going to let that happen from the business side. From the footballing side, we said, okay, let's give you 2 years contract. Let's allow you stay and phase you out slowly. And if you play a few minutes next season and you look good, somebody comes for you, whatever price you go for will still be profit in our pockets. He was trying to force their hand so that he could go for free next season. He didn't take any.
It's his right.
No,
why do you think that's not his right?
No, I agree. It's his right. I'm not saying it's not. I did not say it's not.
Why are people treating this like a situation?
Exactly.
Mo, what I'm saying is that
happened. I'm sorry, it happened. It happened to a lot of clubs.
I agree. Mo, what I'm saying
also,
is
he's on your books because okay, I get what you're saying. If every club does this with every player, banish them. What is this?
It's not
banishment.
banishment.
Who are
the one who signed him?
Before you go, Dio,
okay, go on.
I'm gonna be a bit honest here. I think the problem with the Gallagher stuff, and it's very similar to the Chalobah stuff that's happening now, is that I think the club at times they've sent mixed messaging. That's the issue that the club has. What I think should have happened was at the end of the season, once Maresca was confirmed, the club should have sat down with Gallagher, and told him point blank, listen, you know, with all due respect, we've tried to settle it in a lot of times beforehand. We do not want you. We do not see you in our plans right now. Yeah, let us work together amicably to actually move you on. And then it's up to him. It's his prerogative to say then yes to that or no. Or no. If he says no, then it's up to them, the club, to do whatever they want to do. If they wanted to banish him after that, that makes sense, because at least the club put their cards on the table to him and actually, you know, made it point blank to him. You know what I'm saying to you? At the end of the day, he's got a contract. The club gave it to him, so he has a choice of what to do. But the club also has a choice on how they, you know, handle their business too.
That's exactly what I was saying. On the business side,
problem, and my issue is, bro, and my issue is, Dio, I think the club, you know, they've not been, you know, in business, there's ways to handle business, right? You know, sometimes you can do it like a bad way and there's a good way to do it. I think the issue for me is that they've not done this in the right, they've not used the right approach to get the deal done. That's what my issue is. They've not used the right approach to like sort a lot of these situations out.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, I agree with you,
Mm.
but you can't always use the right situation. Sometimes you just have to be. Look, it is what it is. You're being bloody about it. You're being ruthless. It is what it is. You know.
Mhm.
Look, let me give you an example. A good example is maybe because of. Let me ask an example. Emil Smith Rowe left on a good note in quote, but the fans that want to kill themselves over it right now, like, why did we let ESR go? ESR hasn't scored a goal in 2 years for Arsenal. He hasn't played more than 500 minutes in the last 2 years, and you're complaining about letting him go. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, the difference is with Conor Gallagher.
But the difference, the issue is,
I agree.
bro,
I'm just saying, like, the sentiments. I'm talking sentiments now. With Conor Gallagher, there's too much sentiment of he's homegrown, he's an academy boy, they treated him badly. No, it's business. He's an asset, bro. You're going to be full profit for me as a club owner, right? If somebody comes with the right amount of money, I will take the deal. I would take the deal. Julian Alvarez going away to Atletico. Who would have thought City will let him go? Do you know how much the money is? The money comes in. City is like, hey, we're not going to stand in your way. We're not going to stand in your way. If the money comes, and then it's now up to the player. And again, the fact that they've offered him 2 different contracts before now that he turned down says a lot. He basically wanted to play hardball, and they played hardball with him. If you want to play hardball, be ready to go all the way. I have no sympathy for what has happened. To be honest.
One thing I will say about Chelsea, I can't lie to you, man. These guys, man, they can gegenpress you in the media like crazy, bro. You know what I mean? The way when we heard that they had 24 hours to announce the Gallagher deal, and then you hear the contract talks just out of nowhere from Ornstein, then you hear another report, we're gonna banish you if you don't sign the contract. Like they are, you know what I mean? They're like almost Liverpool, bro, prime Liverpool, and when they're actually gegenpressing teams, bro.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
It's business, man.
Yeah,
and then
man, I have to give them
and then
credit
your
for
coach, and then your coach is just, I don't know, he's moving mad in some things that he's saying, you know,
To be
talking
fair,
about,
he's not lying though.
no, but
Dyer,
hold on, listen,
yeah.
hold on, let me, Ahmed, that is
Okay,
nonsense. That's him deflecting, and I'll tell you why he's deflecting. How did you get yourself into a position where you have to sell your homegrown players because you need to maximize profit so you can stay under PSR rules? When you put yourself in that position by spending $1 billion over the last couple of seasons, and you put yourself in a position where now you're only forced to sell your homegrown players for full profit to be able to meet the PSR rules, you put yourself there. This is not, you're basically saying, oh, the rules are forcing us to sell them. No, you put yourself as a club in that position to then fall and not break those rules. If you had run your business correctly, if they had run their business correctly, they will not need to be afraid of breaking those rules. If they had run their business correctly.
Okay, so I agree with you in what you're saying, but I think the thing of Gallagher was, it wasn't necessarily to do with actually even the pure profit scenario. I think the issue with Gallagher was because his contract was running down and he wasn't signing a contract, so they then had to move him on. That was their whole thing, right? They're like, they don't want to let players leave on free. That was the thing with Gallagher. If it was like
I hear you on that, but what about the selling? What about the selling the hotels to themselves and selling this to themselves? All of this is
that aspect I agree with though. You know me, I already said I agree.
Which is what I'm saying. Like for them, for Maresca to then come out and say, well, it's not a Chelsea problem, it's a FA problem because the rules.
Do you know why I agree with that?
He's deflecting.
Dyer. But do you know why I agree with that, Dyer? Do you know why I agree with that, though, Dyer? Because I think you shouldn't be giving clubs pure profit for selling players that they kind of made. I feel like you should be giving them benefits for keeping players that they've actually made instead. Do you not think that would be a much better thing? Because like then you're saying, you've produced these players, you're bringing them through the ranks. Shouldn't there be some sort of positive in that aspect, bro? No,
the positive.
I feel like
I know the positive.
But like selling them. But the
positive
profit.
No, the positive.
Can I ask a question?
That's the positive though. When you sell them, they're full profit.
Guys,
that's the benefit.
Can I ask a question, please? And I want to ask, if Man United tomorrow have Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Christian Eriksen, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, right, Scott McTominay, and do that to them, is that fair?
It's not.
Is it fair? No, it's not fair. It's not fair, but it's business now. But it's business.
What's fair? Like what do you mean? Like what's
if they had 1 year deal?
If Man United tomorrow they have 1 year left and they want to get rid of them, the players don't want to go or they want to go on a free, they can't agree. By the way, at the end, if you look at what Conor Gallagher was offered at Atletico Madrid, he was offered a good contract at the end. They had to negotiate. But the first contract was not good. If Harry Maguire and Lindelof, Christian Eriksen, and Scott McTominay don't want to accept Fulham deal or something like that, should Man United banish them? Should that be the approach for all the clubs now?
Yeah.
Just banish players.
Yeah, well, I don't see the issue with that. I don't see the issue with it because at the end of the day... Yeah, go on.
No, I was gonna say quickly because the issue you have then is like it becomes a PR issue because then it becomes like any player that comes to you knows if they come if they come to you and you don't agree something with them, you're just gonna banish them, bro. And then that
but there's a difference.
You know what I'm saying?
If Chelsea, but here's the problem with Conor Gallagher and Chelsea. If Chelsea offered him a respectful contract, trying to keep him, but Chelsea offered him a 2-year contract just to sell him next season.
Exactly, that's the problem. Yes, I agree. That's the issue.
What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that?
The contract they gave him though was to maintain his value because they were still going to sell him. But
did Ornstein? No, but I'm pretty sure David Ornstein said that they was going to give him a new contract and he would have been one of the highest earners. So I don't see how that's a problem.
No,
because he's
but you're not getting the point.
An average with the whole squad.
Yeah,
2 years and 1 year. When everyone else have contracts that end in 230 and stuff like that.
Yeah, the issue is Ahmed. Yeah, the contract is still 2+1. What that basically means is that listen, we're trying to maintain your value essentially. Yeah, and we know you're going to be a squad player this season because that's what they told him point blank. That means they're still trying to move him on, but they're just trying to give them some extra time.
So Gallagher has an issue. So Gallagher had an issue with the contract because he still wants to be playing for.
He wanted to be a starter. That's the thing. He actually.
I don't see that. I don't see the problem with him with Chelsea banishing them because he's not that good in it. Just if you're not part of the plans, then adios. Like, do you get me? Like,
there's three things. There's three things you look for in a player.
Let Thingy go. Let Thingy below me go.
What do you call him? What do you call him? Thingy.
So let me. Yeah, I didn't know his name. So I tell you find another time.
Hold on. You called the whole Omoba. Omoba is the child of a king. Olu. You call him Thingy. Don't let them possess you in the middle of the night and appear in your dreams.
Okay, chill out.
Don't allow that.
No need for Gigi, man. Chill out,
I am not a babalawo.
I'm joking.
Big up to Oli. My apologies, Oli, by the way.
Man, Jesus. Now, first of all, big up everyone. I'm just laughing because someone called Mo Arteta, and since I've seen that, I just see Arteta's face right now in front of me. So Mo, I should say Arteta, it's good to meet you. It's so good to meet you, Arteta.
Arteta is not as good looking as myself, so have some respect and shame.
They're calling you Arnautovic, bro. What's going on?
Shame.
Arnautovic is crazy.
No, this is HUSAM. Oh my God, the people joined from HUSAM, of course.
And
they're saying Arnautovic because of the Forza Juve and Arnautovic. Oh, fuck off, people. Fuck off. We signed Taremi. Fuck off, you bunch of idiots.
Okay, listen. Go back to the Gallagher thing. First of all, I don't think there's anything.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe first if you just joined to have the. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
Just ignore it. Ignore it. Arteta, just ignore it, man. Listen, you're going to win the league this next season. It's cool.
What the hell?
No, listen, going back to the Conor Gallagher thing, right? I'm talking about is it fair or is it not fair? In the end, like Dio said, it is business, ultimately, right? And when you think about it, the power, once it goes into the last year, is in the player's hands, whether he signs if he signs a contract or not. So in the end, Chelsea have to defend the position in terms of the got assets. Now, whether it's PSR or whatever it is, it's still an asset that ultimately, if once he bridges into that final year, into those last 6 months, and you can sign for free to any club outside the country, that power's out of Chelsea's hands. So in the end, they have to make a decision where to play him. Now, whether or not he knows he's going to be a starter or not, I don't think there's any player in world football that's a guaranteed starter. Maybe, okay, no, I lie. Maybe like an Mbappe was. Even at PSG, he started getting dropped when he was coming towards the end of his contract. So in reality, not many players are. It's like seeing twins there. It's literally like seeing twins.
Mo is looking at himself and he's asking himself, "Is that me?"
Oh my God!
Oh my God! They're just crashing in the chat, you know.
It's twins. Oh my God! Twins. Oh my goodness. No, but when I don't know what to say anymore. But anyways, when it comes to Gallagher, and then look, we don't know whether he thought he was going to be a starter or not. He probably knew he was going to be part of a team.
No, it was confirmed by the Athletic, my brother Olu. That's why it was actually confirmed by the Athletic, our main Chelsea guy.
But every player is going back themselves, right? Like if you don't back yourself to then what's the point of playing football and playing
100%
high level football? But the reality is most likely that, like you said, Chelsea are in a difficult position. They have to, like I said, flip players. I've said it, I'm probably one of the first people to coin that term that everyone is using. And they've had to flip players because ultimately their business model means that they've overspent in the beginning and then now they're having to sort of get that money back. And if Gallagher's not going to be a starter, sell him. There's no point letting him run into the 6 months and then all of a sudden, like Arsenal, listen, we were bad for it. You go back time when we were really bad for players, letting players go into the last year of the contract, we're selling for way cheaper than we should have been doing.
Selling for peanuts or even just letting them go on a free. Like there's no point. And you've invested a lot in these players. You've put a lot into it. We need to also understand that there's two aspects to this. I was saying earlier, I said there's three things that if a player has, they have bargaining power. If you're one of the best players on the team, Gallagher could have had bargaining power. When I say one of the best, I'm saying outstandingly good, like a Cole Palmer carrying the team last season, right? If that was Gallagher, he had some kind of power. The second thing is age. If you're young and you feel like I can improve on, you're at a good age, you have the other thing, which is you're one of the best players, you have that bargaining part. Say you can't give me a 2-year contract, give me a better contract, But if you're not one of the best players, you don't carry the team on your back. Yeah, they made you captain, but think about it. Chelsea was so disorganized and destabilized that I'm sure when they're selecting the captain, you know how they did it? They put everybody's name inside the jar, and the first thing that
no. Do you know why? Do you know how he chose him, though?
No. I was there in spirit. I was a fly in the room.
Dio, do you know the reason why he? The reason why. Honestly, bro, the reason why that was apparently he was choosing English players because the team was an English team. That's why he chose.
Proper Chelsea.
My point is, listen to that logic. That the fact that was the logic for them choosing a captain just says a lot. It says a lot about how disorganized it is. It's like we're just going to choose an English.
Isn't that the manager's fault for choosing someone because
I'm not blaming the manager. No, Ahmed, I'm not blaming the manager. I'm saying Chelsea was so disorganized that even the manager's hands were tied when choosing a captain. Like the kind of reasons that he had to choose for as a manager, they didn't give him the free will to choose a captain based on who he thought was the best fit. They literally limited him to it has to be an English player.
No, he chose it. It was his decision. He gave the decision. I want someone to speak English. That's what he literally said. It was his decision. Like, why would they want him to be in English? Listen, they don't care.
So hold on. So your coach, your manager says, I want somebody who can speak English. And then the rest of the club, the owner, the managers, everybody were like, yeah, that's a good decision. So you see how disorganized you still are? Whichever way you spin it, you were disorganized.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to put it like correct the record.
But anyway, all I know is that Diet Pep is not going to do anything this season. So you guys can try.
What's even better is that you saying that basically like what's his name? Poch decided that the captain had to be someone who speaks English, and then you guys go and buy a whole bunch of French players.
Can we stop? Hold on? Can we stop with the names, guys? Can we stop with the freaking names in the chat? We just focus on the show, people. The people that Sam sent the people, and you guys are just in the chat. Moreska, Muteta, Amotovic. Can we stop with the freaking names in the chat, please? And Arnautovic shit, please. Can we stop? Like I can't focus. I can't even hear the guys. I literally can't hear what they're saying. They were saying something about English, and all I can think of is the freaking names that these people keep coming up with. Can we stop this bullshit in the chat, bro? Mojendaship, Moteta, bro. Sam said Molaga, bro. Fuck this shit, bro. Stop this bullshit, bro. Someone said Moreska. Can we stop this shit?
Moreska is quality, man. We need that, man. We need that one, actually.
Yeah,
Moreska. Moreska, man. Yeah, we need you, man. Yeah.
Alexis Sanchez.
Alexis Sanchez.
Menzo, yeah,
bro,
Menzo.
Can we stop this shit, bro?
Menzo. He's called Menzo instead.
Moreska's crazy, bro. Moreska's fucking crazy.
I don't know why I never bought Moreska before.
Moreska's crazy. Footy Judge Moreska's crazy.
Look, HUSAM is a lunatic.
But guys, can we just at least Mosiman? Oh, HUSAM is coming with all the fucking names in the history of mankind, bro.
Eric Mohag. Oh my goodness.
Eric Mohag.
Mohag is crazy.
All right.
Omorodion.
Can we get Omorodion?
Omorodion is crazy.
Can we get the likes to 5? Guys, stop. Hit that like button underneath the live chat. Close the live chat for a second and hit let's get to 500 likes, bro. Yeah, my God, this fucking
if we get to 500 likes, Mo will have to change his name for the next show to Moresca. So it won't be Footy Mo, it'll be Moresca.
Change the channel name, bro.
No, not the channel name. Just the name of the show will be Moresca Rival Rumbles.
I can actually do a show, Footy Judge Moresca. It's gonna be crazy.
There we go. 500 likes and we'll do Footy Judge Moresca.
500 likes, I promise you. No, but they have to have price for it. I'm literally gonna do a show, talk about the game tomorrow. About Chelsea. I'm gonna talk about Chelsea tomorrow. Right? It has to be a price on it. I'm gonna do a show. It's called Footy Judge Moresca. But guys, can we get the likes up a little bit? Let's go back to the conversation. Armo slot. You're fucking weird.
Armo slot is crazy.
We'll see. But listen, go back. I want to move on from the Gallagher situation to something else. To Omorodion for real.
Omorodion.
What is Chelsea doing, bro? Why is this?
They're freestyling this transfer window, you know. They're freestyling.
It's another here we go, bro. Chelsea had more here we goes than Arsenal had in the last 3 seasons, bro. Bro, Arsenal, the maximum they got in all the windows was 3 players, right? In one window. So over the past 4 windows, Arsenal probably had like 7 here we go, 8. Chelsea had like what? Like how many here we go do Chelsea get in the last month?
Listen, this is how bad it is. They have more here we goes than Man United's goal difference last year.
An Arsenal fan talking about that when he's not got no trophies in 5 years, man. It's crazy. No trophies in 5 years. It's fine though, isn't it?
That was nasty. That was nasty. I can't lie to you. But no, I'll be honest, yeah. Omorodion, they were trying to get this guy even for like the whole summer. They even put in like a 42.2 million bid apparently beforehand. And now they gave Gallagher on a discount, so now they're gonna be able to get the player. I just don't see it. I think the thing is, allegedly, you'll be trying to get him because he's gonna be the replacement for Broha, who's like our number 2 striker. So that's the reason why we're bringing him in. It's literally it. And I think Madrid fans are like really big fans of him. They're actually disappointed they're selling him. So
who's disappointed? You think if this guy is good, Atletico Madrid are going to sell him for 30 million pounds?
No, but we sold him.
Yourself,
no,
bro?
I'm not convincing myself. That's what they're saying, brother. I've watched him actually. Now I have watched him. I'm going to say this right now. I've watched him. The issue with him, he's very clunky on the ball. His hold-up play is not so great either.
So he's rubbish. He's rubbish. He's
it's very well, how shall I say this? Yeah, he's a very raw talent. That's the best way to put it, bro. Nah, that's too perfect, bro. That is too perfect, man.
Sorry.
That's too perfect, man.
We can sit between him and him.
No, but Ahmed, deep it, yeah. Atletico Madrid, they've just got Alvarez, they've got Felix, they've got Griezmann. No, they got all them, bro. They're not gutted that they got rid of him. Come on, he's just any player.
I said their fans are, not them. I said their fans are gutted actually.
The fans.
Yeah, bro. Listen.
Well, has he played for Atletico Madrid at all?
No, because he went out on loan last season to I think it was I forget Deportivo
Alvarez. So they went and he scored how many goals for them?
8 goals he scored.
9 goals. 8 or 9 goals.
It was 8 or 9.
So you're saying Atletico Madrid fans are disappointed they saw a 9-goal striker who's never played for them.
He's 20 years old.
It's almost like see, Olu, I can understand where the Atletico Madrid fans are coming from, because if you look at it, it's almost like when we put Saliba out on loan and he to us in the first season he did very well, and then imagine us saying, "Oh, we're selling Saliba immediately." People Arsenal fans would have been like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" You know, like, so they see a potential in him. He's 20. And for them, they're like, okay, over the next couple of seasons, this guy is going to be the guy for us. And then suddenly, like, the club is like, hey, for 40 million, we can let you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that is a good deal for the club. They're like, well, go continue developing somewhere else, and we get 40 million. It's business.
This thinks of, you remember when Barcelona sold what's the right back that plays for Tottenham?
Emerson Royal.
Emerson Royal. when they sold him, and then they were laughing that any team could come and will pay 35 million for him. This is what it feels like, because like you're saying, he looks clunky in the ball. He doesn't look polished, right? And all of a sudden now you've signed this guy. You've also signed Mark Hui, or however you guys name him, right? And then you've also got a striker in Jackson, who you guys would say is very raw. I mean, it just seems like right now Chelsea are just going for the same type of players who are just very raw potential.
They're also allegedly, okay, I'm gonna say allegedly going for Victor Osimhen as well, of a swap deal with Lukaku. So
you also want to add another player who's also not very comfortable on the ball and looks like a giraffe playing
listen,
football.
they're going after him. My opinions about Osimhen are separate indeed, so that's what I will say. But listen,
it seems it's too much. Sorry,
the thing is though, but the thing is, listen, you guys know this, and
isn't that 47 players, 47 players now? How many do you have?
Again,
I know yesterday
that stuff will go. That stuff. Listen, that stuff will go down. So I don't really care. I think again with Gui, it's probably going to be flipped. I already knew that at the moment we brought him for £6 million. Omorodion, if he does well, he may stay in the team. If not, he's gonna go. Again with this Osimhen stuff, I don't really personally believe it's gonna happen. But listen, we'll see what happens.
Can I share a conspiracy theory that I heard today?
I'm listening.
So somebody said that maybe Chelsea is stockpiling players because they know that the FA is going to give them a transfer ban over the next couple of seasons. And because of that, they want to have a lot of players in-house because they will not be able to do any transfers for the next couple of seasons based on reporting themselves. Remember they reported themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
This is real, but he's saying
if your theory is true, Dio, you would have gone for the ready-made players.
But that's why but that's why they're going for young raw talent, so that if they have transfer ban, those 2 years of transfer ban or 3 years, whatever it is, these players are growing together. Like we're grooming. We have.
But why don't they go for a 25, 26 years old or 24 years old?
Because by the time the transfer ban is over, that 26-year-old is 29 years old, and you have to get them off the books for cheap because now they're older. They have a 1-year contract. Nobody wants to buy them.
Not necessarily true.
Hold on. I'm saying I'm giving you an example. But in 3 years, Omorodion will be 23 years old, 24 years old. If there was a ban, 24-year-old Omorodion, if he's playing very well.
But who said that Omorodion is gonna be good? But that's the thing. I'm gonna give you an example.
No, it's not. That's why I said it's a conspiracy theory. I'm like, there's nothing here that says that that's what it is. I'm saying a conspiracy, which of course is not real. I'm just saying, like, maybe if they feel like that is what's happening, like I would do that. I would stockpile talent. It's almost like preparing for doomsday. If I know that there's going to be thunderstorm and the lights are going to go out and stuff, and they've already warned me here, like the news that said over the next 1 week there'll be a storm, the hurricane is coming, like it happened in Houston, I'll go stockpile on food, on things that I need. I'll get battery powered lights, I'll get heating, I'll get everything ready just in case. So all I'm saying is, if that was the case, then they're being smart by stockpiling young players. They are being smart by doing that, because over the next couple of years, these players will have to be forced to play together. You can't bring in new players, right? You can't sell them. You're going to have to make sure that they work.
You can sell, but for example,
I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example of a player that would fit what Dio is saying. Xerxes, 23 years old, helped Bologna get to a Champions League. He's a Dutch international. Played under Thiago Motta. Had a very good season. Had about like 14 or 15 GA. At 23 years old, that is, if Chelsea get Xerxes, he's ready to play today. This guy, Omorodion, with all due respect, this guy is just a raw talent. Ahmed literally described the guy. Needs a lot of refining. So Chelsea might not use the guy even this season, or he might not be great this season. Someone like Xerxes, and by the way, you can say that maybe Højlund failed or whatever, but Højlund, when he joined Man United, yes, he had one season, but that is someone who played for Atalanta, for example, under Gasperini as a coach, who won the Europa League last season. That is what I mean. Like Chelsea,
I hear you.
I think Dio, people now, it's not you, but people now are even saying, oh, you want experience? Do you want us to buy 29? What about the 23 and 24 years olds? Where did these people go? Why nobody is going for these people? Odegaard, when he joined also, was 22.
Because the market is also very, like, look at this.
Yeah, but it's not that Chelsea aren't even spending peanuts. £35 million package for someone like this. That's a lot of money, by the way.
I agree with you. No, Mo. We're on the same. Mo,
is 6 million. fine.
Mo, we're on the same page. Don't get me wrong. We're on the same page. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. They could have gone for better players. I'm not saying they could not have. I am saying, just talking based on a conspiracy theory that somebody put out today. And I was like, you know what? I don't believe that's what it is. But if that's what it is, I think it's a smart move to get the best talents in the door right now, knowing that you might be facing that kind of a transfer ban, because now you have some of the best young talents that you know that you're going to forcefully have to grow over. Because if they give you a 3-year transfer ban or a 2-year transfer ban, it means 2 seasons you can't bring in anybody, which means this team has to gel for 2 seasons under the same manager if you keep the manager, which means that they become a force to reckon with, because they're some of the best talents that we're looking at, and they'll get better.
Is Morgan Gibbs-White out there?
So,
50 million pounds. Morgan Gibbs-White is only like 23, 24 years old.
No, he's
I
not.
hear you. No,
they're asking for him for 70 million, bro. They're asking 70 million for him.
70 million pounds for Morgan Gibbs-White.
That's what they're asking for. Yes, that's Nottingham Forest. That's what they're gonna ask for.
Football is gone, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, the market aren't. But what I mean is that Chelsea, which is someone said that in the comment, they aren't getting the best talent.
I said best raw, young and raw. I did not say the best talents now. Like, there's a difference between best talent now and potential. Like, this person is okay. Look, for example, this person is 20 years old or 19. Or this guy is 20. We can see what he's capable of doing with the right training, with the right manager. I mean, we saw Odegaard. We've seen Odegaard get better since he came back to Arsenal. On the loan spell that first season, he was good, but he wasn't fantastic. And then the season after that, we saw him get. So what I'm saying is, sometimes you see the little rot, you see that little spark, and you're like, hey, that's what I'm talking about. Not the best talents right now. The best talents right now want to play football right now, would rather go to another club where they can play Champions League or where they can play something on a higher level, right? That's where they would want to be. They wouldn't want to go for any project where I'm going to be there for the next 3 years. You know, I'm the one carrying the team type thing. So yeah, that's all I'm saying is like.
But to be honest, I'm looking at I want to get Ahmed's opinion about this. I'm looking at this deal, this Omorodion deal or whatever. And all I can think is that if Chelsea don't go out and get an Osimhen and get someone like that, Chelsea aren't looking to win. They aren't looking to win. It's not a winnable, because
I think the issue. I think my issue.
You want to get a striker.
I think so. Listen again. I think my issue with this Omorodion deal is more so that, again, you know, this season you've asked the manager to get you top 4, right? You said you need to be getting top 4, and yet I'm not seeing the quality of top 4 that's been added to the squad. That's the issue. You know what I mean? All I've seen, like, maybe I would say bar, maybe KDH, which is a stretch. Renato Vega, maybe you can maybe say
even Dewsbury Hall is not. He plays for. He's good player. But he isn't the player to add to his squad. This is the guy that's going to take my midfield from 6 to the top 4.
Exactly.
He's good.
Exactly.
I like him.
Yeah, he's a floor raiser, but he's not a ceiling raiser. That's how I'd put it.
Yes.
And that's the issue.
Yes. Thank you so much. Like,
that's my issue. That's my issue, bro. That's my fundamental issue.
Tosin is the same. Tosin from Fulham, same. A good addition to the squad for free, but he isn't the guy to make my defense so solid that makes the jump from 6th or 7th or 8th to guarantee top 4. While Aston Villa, and we have to look at other people as well. When we're looking at Newcastle targeting Mark Gahey, when we're looking at Aston Villa targeting Amadou Onana, these are the people that other teams, Manchester United, for example. Yes, you got like Dewsbury Hall. Manchester United are targeting Ugarte. You like Ugarte or you don't like Ugarte? Ugarte was someone that was wanted by Liverpool. You guys remember this? Liverpool wanted him at Sporting Lisbon. And now they are targeting Yusuf Fofana. That is the thing. Like, I'm not seeing Chelsea adding to the squad to get to the next level, to be above Aston Villa or Newcastle or Man United. They aren't. Liverpool, maybe people will say they are there for the taking, but they aren't.
I think part of the issue is that I think a lot of our team, a lot of like my fans, and I can understand their point of view. They think the squad is already like a top 4 squad, at least to them. That is what they believe. I think for me, my issue is more so that I don't necessarily believe it's a top 4 squad. I think there's still 1 or 2 pieces missing. You know, again, I've said this before to you. The wings area for me is a very big concern, in my personal opinion. The striker, I'm a bit iffy on, but I think for me, you know, again, we can still improve the squad to get even better. That's the issue I have. Osimhen, if you brought in Osimhen and a winger, which was like a Doué or an Elise, I think top 4 is guaranteed. Right now, the squad we have, top 4 is not guaranteed. Plus, you have a
back. You need a centre back that is experienced.
The reason, I think the issue with the centre back is then you're gonna have to move one of them, and I don't feel like you can move any of the centre backs that we have currently. That's my problem, bro. I don't feel
But
like
none of them is elite. But none of them is elite.
Oh, but do you know what my thing is? Mo? I feel like okay, man, centre back's not elite, but I feel like if we can at least have an attack that can at least outgun, the other team, what I mean, on some level, and the defense at least does an average job, I think we can get top 4 of that. But
that's the problem, Ahmed. See, Ahmed, let me tell you what the problem is with that. The problem is that when you come up against teams that have elite defenders as well, who can outmark your players, outmark your guys who are your scorers, then you don't score in that game, and your defense is leaking.
I know, bro. I know.
So that's what the problem.
We need one Dio. I'm not asking to have a pair of amazing center backs. Just one guy, Dio. Takes this defense to the next level, because. Look at how Maresca wants to play football.
I agree.
He wants to play from the back. If you keep making... Listen, Chelsea last season, there's a lot of games that Chelsea could have won if it wasn't for a mistake. Started from the goalkeeper. Arsenal game. Cucurella against Arsenal when he literally ran to no one. Because none of these guys and Chelsea backline is a leader. It was Thiago Silva, right? We rate Thiago Silva or we don't rate Thiago Silva. We think he's finished or not. Thiago Silva is an experienced defender. As of now, their most experienced defender is Disasi, and Disasi is not a leader.
Again, I think Disasi is a leader, but not more so off the pitch than he is on the pitch. Like I don't feel like he's there yet. I think for me, if Maresca gives them a good enough system, and then they actually develop with that system, I think they'll be fine. In my personal opinion, I think Badi Ishil last season, I think he had a down season. I think Badi Ishil is a good player, by the way. I think
I like him.
Yeah,
but I can't keep saying that to the people. Ahmed, we cannot sit in front of people on YouTube and on shows and keep saying Badi Ishil is good when every time we're watching the guy, he's getting a 5 or a 4 rating. We can't do that anymore. Same as, by the way, we say the same for Man United. We keep saying Højlund is a talent. Højlund is a talent. We can't keep saying that. Arsenal keep saying Arsenal a lot. Emil Smith Rowe. And some Arsenal fans stopped and said, okay, when is he going to play then? We keep saying he's a talented. Injuries hindered him, but that's part of the game. We need to move on. Some Arsenal fans said, okay, we need to move on from this guy.
Do you know what it is, though, bro? I think, honestly, if you have a defense of Cucurella as your left-sided centre-back, then you have the middle one being either one of... Levi Cole and Reece James as your back 3 for me. I think that's more than good enough.
Ahmed, you just said a problem. You said one of, which is still the problem I think everyone still has with, well, me personally, I have with Chelsea's sort of team, right? Is when it is you can't tell me what your exact back 4 is settled. What is my best back 4?
But again, this is the new manager, though, bro. So I can't really necessarily say that.
I forget the manager. I'm talking about you personally. But I'm talking about you personally.
You, Ahmed. He's talking about you. He's asking
me. If it was for me, then let me tell you. If it was for me, I would just say right now, Cucurella, Reece James, and then I would say Levi Cole in the middle. That's what I would do.
Okay, so a back 3.
Yes, back 3, because that's what he's playing. So I would say back 3.
But now, if you ask,
the back 3 gets cooked, but fine.
Wait, of course. But if you ask another Chelsea fan, they'll give you another set of players.
We'll give another back 3.
Chelsea, and see, there's a problem. Like if you ask any Arsenal fan, 99% of them will probably have at least three of them correct. And probably now with Calafiori, most people say even with him as the 4th, right? Even though they've never seen him play. You ask Man City fans, they'll give you a pretty standard back 4. Even Man United can give, maybe not Man United. Aston Villa, they know their back 4.
No, Man United will tell you, and they will tell you, we are missing one guy next to Lisandro. If you ask any Man United fan, they will tell you, we have Luke Shaw, we have Lisandro, we have Dalot. We need a centre back.
Exactly. The problem now, the problem with Chelsea right now is that there's still so many players and there's still so many unknowns. And we're talking about a new system, right? And look, I've read in the chat, some people said, what's Aston Villa's like world-class striker or elite defender? No, they've had a system they've worked out for a year. So the players don't have to be elite. They've worked in that system. But they probably have a settled back 4 that they know week to week, this is who's going to turn up. They know that the tendencies. Right now, it just seems scattergun right now.
Again, but I feel like Olu, I hear what you're saying, Olu, but the issue for me fundamentally, is that, again, this is a new manager. So until we see what the new manager wants to play, I can't necessarily agree with that take. Like if But again, if like in the first few weeks of the EPL and like continuing on with the keeper in our back line, then I would say fundamentally your answer is correct.
So Ahmed,
I can't really make that comment. Because that's the only pushback I can give in
That's fair.
relation.
No, it's fair. No, it's fair.
But like in the middle of the season, Ollie, if you said this to me again in the middle of the season next season, bro, I will hold my hands up and agree with you 100%, brother.
Yeah, well, let's see who he plays because
let's see what happens. But I want to just Denishan is saying Samu is pure profit for Madrid and Gallagher for Chelsea. A lot of people are telling me that it's just a business between the two clubs. I don't believe that. Atletico Madrid aren't under any financial scrutiny or anything.
Yeah.
So they didn't need to do the deal. If Atletico Madrid didn't want Gallagher, they wouldn't have.
They need money for Alvarez. That's Chelsea donating into the pot for Alvarez. You see that's some Omorodion money, full profit, 40 million.
Maybe
that's already more than half. That's more than half.
I don't think so because the issue is they paid the same. We pretty much paid the same amount of money for each player.
I know, but I'm
like,
saying
literally that cancels
but it's full profit for them is what I'm saying. So that's 40 million in their pocket. All they need to come up with is the rest for Alvarez. They just need to come up with the rest of the half.
I don't know because I'm not sure how the league accounting works. So it might be slightly different to the UK. Remember,
they have like the 1-for-1 system, if I'm not mistaken. No,
yeah,
the 1-for-1 system.
Just do this super chat. Motet, let me do this. Moteta, top analysis of player as expected. What a manager. Thank you, Blaze, for the joke. Appreciate you, my friend. Listen, guys, we got 600 people here, and we need to get the likes up a little bit, guys. Let's get the likes up when Olo's dog is barking, of course, in the background. Let's get to 500 likes. Guys, we want to shift a little bit for Arsenal. The Merino deal stalled. Manchester City sold Alvarez. They made a lot of money. I'm just thinking Arsenal is still a little bit slow in the market. The season is 2.5. And also Arsenal looked a little bit sluggish, if I'm not mistaken. In the preseason.
Can I ask the Arsenal guys question? It's not so to do with income, it's to do with an outgoing, yeah. Like Nketiah. Like, do you not think the deal that he didn't take for Nketiah for that price was not a poor idea? Because now Marseille have basically gotten themselves Yusuf Moukoko, and now you're basically just stuck again with Nketiah.
No, because how much isn't whatever his name is a loan deal, right?
I think it's either loan of obligation. It's either loan of obligation.
Right, so they've got like that. So they're paying a nominal fee. So they're playing like maybe 2 million, right? So they can still buy Nketiah if they want to. The reality is this: Arsenal, like we've always said in the past, have been very poor at shifting players, and that's because there's been things such as we've let players run down to the last year of the contract. So again, the power's in their hands. We've not been allowed to convince them to sort of take a better deal. Nketiah's actually got a pretty long contract still. So it's in Arsenal's sort of interest to say, no, we're going to maximize the value of how much you want to sell him for. Marseille are probably just playing hardball. This is negotiation. You don't take the first offer that you're ever given. You wait. Eventually, you go, right, this is the price. So yeah, it might look bad. But again, this is one that I would say that football fans like should always bear into mind. What we see reported and what is happening in the background is always totally different. There's probably conversations still happening on a day-to-day basis. And I am probably about 70% sure Nketiah is going to leave. And it's going to be closer to what Arsenal wants to get back for the player.
It won't be to Marseille, I think, because they got their striker.
Well,
they got the striker on loan though. And it's not a loan with an obligation to buy, it's an option to buy. So here's the deal. If they really wanted Nketiah, like eventually from 27 to 30, that's 3 million difference. If they really want him, they'll come back for him. I would say this though. I don't care whether we move Nketiah on or not, as long as we get another striker. That doesn't bother me. Like, what really I care
about. Are you still in for a striker or you're looking for a winger now?
If a forward player, you want to call it striker, you want to call it a winger, you want to call somebody else to add goal tallies, to what we have, because we've already shored up our defense with Calafiori as well, which I think is a good thing that we have done, right? So we still need somebody up front, but as it sits right now, even if we get our forward player or our striker on the last day of the season, this is the breakdown of the Arsenal team right now. Martinelli on the left wing, Leandro Trossard backing him up. Center forward right now, we're still having to say is Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz. If we bring somebody in at the center forward, we move Gabriel Jesus to the right to back up Bukayo Saka. So now we have Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus on the right. Whatever striker we bring in up front with Kai Havertz, and in midfield, Merino comes in. Merino, Rice, Odegaard. We then have we still have Thomas Partey, Jorginho in the 6. Those two are still there. And and I think we're looking good there. In defense, we already see what we have. Calafiori left back, Zinchenko as his backup. We have Gabriel, Kiwi as his backup, Saliba, Timber as his backup, right wing Tomiyasu and Ben White, and David Raya in goal. Ramsdale is still here. He hasn't left. If the season starts, Ramsdale will still be our number 2 goalkeeper. If he leaves, then we'll see what happens with anything. But that squad right there, starting the season, I'm not saying it's the best in the world, but at least it's solid enough to start competing before the other players actually get embedded in it. So yeah, I would say go for a center forward. That's what I would like to go for. Whether we're looking at the winger now or we're looking at the center forward, my point is we just need somebody up front. If we get a winger, he'll back up Bukayo Saka and we'll drop Gabriel Jesus back in attack. Gabby Jesus, we haven't seen the best of him yet because of his injuries. Last season, on and off knee injury, but now we're hearing that he's 100% back. His knee injuries are no more. Let's wait and see. We know the kind of player he is. We know the kind of chaos he can cause. And we'll see what happens. He's not a goal
scorer, so he's not.
That's not. But listen, but that's the point, though. Everybody's not a goal scorer. Our defense alone scored 15 goals last season. So way more than your entire forward scored. Our defense alone scored 15 goals, scored 18 goals out of set pieces. Way more than your entire forward line scored again.
If you don't want a goal scorer,
the point is, listen. The point is, listen, Ahmed, listen to this. I'm saying a different profile of striker because in certain games you need a different profile. So the difference is this, right?
So what's the opposite of Jesus?
Listen to what I'm saying again. The difference in profile and how the player plays, right? Last season, we scored 90 goals in the Premiership and 120 across all competitions. So goal scoring was not the problem per se. It was clinical finishing in the 18-yard box in certain games and profiles. Certain profiles did not suit certain games, and because of that, we lost those games. It wasn't Gabriel Jesus can cause all the danger he wants. We needed a certain type of profile there to be able to put the ball in the back of the net, which we didn't have. And if we get that now, that's all that finishes the puzzle for me. That's all I'm saying. So,
Dio, can I ask you a question? And I'll ask this to Olu as well. Do you not think though that the lack of sales is hampering maybe you guys to be able to actually?
Yeah, but that always happens when you don't win. By the way, that's not banter.
I'm being serious. That's what I'm asking. Yeah,
sold the player. There is a reason why Manchester City sold the player that doesn't want to be there. That is not a guaranteed starter for 95 million after buying him 2 years ago for 50 million because they win. When you win, you sell big. That is just simple. People need to understand this. Arsenal are not selling their good players. Arsenal are literally asking people, come and buy Nketiah. He's rubbish. We don't want him. Come and get him off our books so we can get someone else.
Relax.
But the thing is,
hold on. That goes for every club. Man United. Yes. Did you guys hear? Fulham walked away from McTominay. They said take it or leave it. That's all. By the way, it just reported an hour ago. Yeah,
I know. It's all right.
Fulham, because Man United keep telling us all season McTominay is rubbish. We want to get rid of him. 1 year left, and then they want 40 million. Are you mad?
But that's my problem. Before you guys go, let me just make this last point. Let me make this last point because I want to back up. Yeah, I'll let. So my last point, just to add to it one more, is that you can't say you want these guys gone and then be playing hardball with the price. That's my issue.
So Ahmed, let me answer your question. Let me answer your question.
I'll let you speak.
So your question was, do I think that the outgoings, like if the outgoings don't happen, it's hampering the incomings? I don't think so in this financial year for Arsenal. Right now, we've done 3 pieces of business. We've done David Raya for 27 million. We've done a goalkeeper from Ajax for 1 million. That's 28 million. We've done Calafiori for what? 33 million.
Right? So you've got 3 goalkeepers now.
Hold on. No, we have one of them is going on.
Why are you getting goalkeepers? Why is he number 9?
Karl Hein is going on loan. Listen, -1. Be quiet. Your
club is
crap right now.
-1. We're talking about goals.
We're talking finances. We're talking
not over each other, guys. Not over each other.
Let me finish, Ahmed. We're talking finances right now. Something your club knows nothing about properly on how to do. You bought a defender for 60-something million who has played 1 season in Lille and is now injured and is out for the season.
And you've calm
your nerve.
You've not watched a single Bologna game.
So calm your nerve. I'm talking about the prices right now. So Arsenal has done about 65 to 65 million pounds in business so far. And with Emil Smith-Rowe's outgoing, which is about 30 million, that's half of it. So literally, we've only spent about 30 million pounds. But nowhere near the mark when it comes to what we need to spend as regards to getting players, right? So my point is, do I think it hampers? No. I think they're just trying to be under the PSR by not overspending yet. which is trying to get those outgoings. But if they don't get it, I believe that they will go out and get the players they need. As long as we're below the PSL line and we don't cross it where we don't, get points deducted and we don't get fined in any way, then we're good. Because I don't see nothing wrong in putting 80 million down right now for a striker.
Hold on.
Like putting 80 million down for a striker.
I want to ask Ahmed a question. Do you think Arsenal are good to go next season? Because someone posted something in the chat and said that Arsenal are good enough to win the league. Are Arsenal good enough now with the team they have to win the Premier League?
No.
Yes, they are.
Genuine. Why?
No.
Why not?
Because they
Can
don't
you elaborate, Ahmed, please?
Yeah, because when it comes to winning the league, you need to have players that have an X factor, and get you over the line. With Arsenal, there's no player that has an X factor right now. None of them. None of them have the X factor.
Saka, Odegaard.
Saka doesn't have X factor. He doesn't. Not in big games. Saka doesn't have. None of them have X factor.
What? Whoa.
True though. That's why you're trophyless for about 4 seasons.
Can we ask guys in the chat? Are Arsenal good enough at the current moment? Assuming they're only going to add Merino.
No, but you can't handle.
Let me ask the chat. Let me ask the people. Guys in the chat, are Arsenal good enough to win the league now? Now, with adding Merino.
Sorry, now I'm gonna jump in because Ahmed again is
you're rattled, isn't it?
You talk with no logic sometimes. Okay, so Arsenal finished a one game swing. I've said it so many times. 2 points behind Man City, 1 game swing. So you're saying basically that if the gap was huge, I could understand what you're saying. The fact that it was that close tells me that actually it could have gone either way, right? Then you talk about players who don't score in big games. I mean, Saka scored in big games. Odegaard has scored in big games. Even Martinelli himself has scored in big games. So again,
scoring in big games every now and then don't make you have an X factor, bro.
Ahmed's logic of what X factor is so mediocre, though. It is so mediocre.
You just
can't
handle
mediocre. Because
let me finish. Wait, let me finish. The thing is this, right? You cannot make a comment and say these players don't have X factor. Then you give an example.
Who has X factor in your team?
You cannot give an example and say this players cannot score in a big game, and then I give an example of players scoring a big game and going that big game doesn't count. Like what you're doing then is
you're naming moments. Just because a player scored in big games, doesn't mean they have an X factor.
So what is X factor? Define X factor. Ahmed, let him define X factor. What is X factor? Define the X factor.
X factor is basically a player that has something special and does it consistently and performs in the moment where your team needs them. They have that special ability. You go look at Man City. Say it again.
Performs in the what? Ahmed, say that part again. I missed it. Performs in the what?
Bro, X factor is where a player has elite ability and turns up in the big games consistently and drags his team out whenever the player needs them.
Give us an example again. Give us an example of what is in the league. Yeah, so we can have the benchmark. I want to have your benchmark.
All right. So when Kevin De Bruyne came back here from Man City from an injury, was he not dragging his team out? Was Foden not dragging his team out? Was Foden? Hold on. Was Foden not dragging his team out and scoring the goals for Man City?
Okay, so hold on. Let him finish. He's given us 2 names. Go ahead. Go ahead. Who else? Give us names. I want you to give me in the league, not only from Man City. I want you to give me 5 names in the Premier League that you think are X factors.
The reason why I'm talking about Man City is because that's who they're competing with. So it doesn't matter about the rest.
No. Give us teams.
Okay, Cole Palmer has X factor. Cole Palmer has X factor.
Kevin De Bruyne. You said Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer,
and Rodri as well. Rodri has X factor as well.
So someone else in the league? Is there anyone else?
No, but I'm talking about Man City because that's who they're competing with.
competing with Salah. We are competing with everybody in the league. We are competing with everybody in the league.
Salah is a world-class player. Of course.
Mo Teta's, I think he's
Salah is a world-class player. Salah is a world-class player, and he drags his team out.
Mane even doing that Liverpool. You know what? I'll tell you as well. Mane was a good example of that.
I'll tell you more players. Sadio Mane, Firmino when he was there, Robert Firmino when he was there, X Factor.
Van Dijk,
Virgil van Dijk.
Okay, this is all great. So this is all great.
No, but I'm going to answer your question. Emotionally, when I just say it how it is,
there's nothing emotional here.
It's true, though, isn't it, Ahmed? It's the mentality.
Let me ask a question. So would you so in certain games during the season last season, where Arsenal in positions where they actually had to play to be dragged out of a situation where they had to win a game? I'm talking Luton, Did that happen?
Luton. What's Luton got to do
Yes,
with
when
it?
we were
No,
3-1.
but-
in games that were 2-0 down to Chelsea.
I'm talking about the big
Hold on,
games
hold on,
against
wait,
Bayern
wait,
Munich.
Listen,
no.
Mo,
Guys, I think let me.
Ahmed, hold on, Ahmed.
I
Pause,
think
Ahmed,
he's not
pause.
going to understand if
Ahmed,
it becomes a
pause.
rival.
Ahmed,
I don't
Ahmed,
think
pause.
I don't think he's going to
Ahmed,
understand if it
pause.
becomes a rival.
Ahmed,
Let me
pause.
speak. Let me
Ahmed,
speak.
pause. No, Ahmed, please pause first. Pause. I have to address Ahmed. I don't care whether you like it coming from an Arsenal fan or not. The fact that you want to disregard the games where Arsenal was 2 goals down to teams like Chelsea, the games where we were down to teams like what's his name to Bayern at home and came back to score 2-2, games like the Porto game where it was Champions League, and this is the first time back in the Champions League after many years, and came back to beat Porto in penalties and had to compose themselves in games like the fact that you want to turn around and say those players who were able to drag them across the line don't have X factor or are not good
It's
enough.
true, though, they don't.
It is listen. It is so disingenuous of you.
No, it's not.
It is because you have chosen, right, to define your X factor based on individual talent of one person who blows people out of the park. Arsenal has never
comes also from the manager as well.
Listen, Arsenal has never been that team, and I'll give you one final data to disqualify everything that you're saying. Last season, since you said we're playing against Man City, I agree. Fine, we're going up against Man City. Last season, right? Man City won how many games? How many games did they win? 28. How many did they draw? How many did they draw? Hold on, 7.
I don't have the stats.
I'm giving you the stats.
Oh,
They
yeah,
drew
so you
7.
can say the stats.
Hold on, I'm saying it. I want you to listen clearly. Man City won 28 games, drew 7 games, lost 3 games. How many games did Arsenal win?
Did they win the league?
Hold on. Let me finish. Arsenal won.
Arsenal won.
Listen, Arsenal won the same 28 games, lost 5 games, and drew 5 games, right? And lost the league by literally 2 points. I'm gonna back your
point slightly. Let me help that, please.
Yeah, so
let me help you, Dayo.
With all your X factor they are talking about, we were 2 points behind them. To sit there and say this season you're not prepared enough with the players that you're bringing in to go on to try and challenge to win it again.
You think Calafiori is going to close the gap to Man City?
Go on, Ahmed. Go on.
Okay, so Ahmed, let me speak. Yeah, so I think so the way you're using X Factor, I get what you mean technically, but I feel like X Factor should also include games in which you're losing or drawing that you're able to turn into a win or like a draw, like when you're able to snatch, stop yourself from losing in those key games. Like key games can be small teams and big teams, right? So that's the thing. Like so the example they use against what was that team again? They mentioned I think it was Luton, right? Luton, right? Like that, technically speaking, is like a key game because they came back from behind to win the game because it was necessary for them to win that game.
Bournemouth as well. We came back to win.
You know, I can give a good example of this. Yeah, remember when Manchester City versus Sheffield United? You know, remember they were down. I think they equalized. It was 1-1. I think it was 85th, 87th minute, and then Rodri I think scored that banger to make it 2-1. If I'm not mistaken, right? So those are those are sort of the games that we're talking. Those are the sort of games I'm talking about. Like where you need to win that game, you're losing or you're currently drawing, and then you're able to think it. I think for me the better term to use not necessarily striker, but you need a guy.
They don't have world class players in their team to drag.
When
Jurgen Klopp, hold on, let me finish. When Jurgen Klopp was managing Liverpool, because he was facing arguably a better Man City side, with players like Aguero, Sterling, and Sané. That front three was ridiculous. David Silva was in the team. That City team, the Centurions, is the best City team that Klopp faced, And Klopp still won a league title over Pep. So this thing about, but Pep's still in the league is nonsense, because this Man City team is arguably at its weakest. Yes, they won a treble, but I'm talking about on the pitch. You can win the title, The difference between Klopp and Liverpool and Arsenal and Arteta, is that Klopp is a world-class manager and Arteta is a good. No, but Arteta is a good manager. But he can't get his. He can't get his team.
I don't think it necessarily matters about the coach. I think it matters that they don't have. I'll
just say this. Comparing a manager who has been managing for 20-something years and won in other leagues and has the experience to come do it with a team like Liverpool to an Arteta who came out fresh as an assistant coach to rebuild an entire squad over the last 5 years. Listen, Ahmed, it's the most disingenuous. I'm saying again, it's the most disingenuous thing that you can do. You don't put any context. You don't put any context.
Let him go. No. Let me explain to that to Ahmed very quickly. okay. So when Klopp started his career, no one would ever have said when he was managing Mainz, he was a world-class manager, right? So that's you're looking at perspective from the wrong point. You're looking at a manager who was learned his going through his trade, gone through the mistakes he had made through Mainz, Dortmund, and eventually into Liverpool, which again he had mistakes he had to learn, but also they were building a team and they got there after 7 years in the end, right? That is a logical thing. Then you're trying to compare that manager to a manager who started.
Should your manager not be aspiring to be the best then? Because you always see Arteta is amazing. So why are we not putting him on the same standard with other managers?
Of course. Listen, I understand. Listen, I know what you're saying, but listen to the point I'm trying to make. You're talking about a manager now who's his 5th year or going to his 6th year of managing, right? And you're seeing a steady progression in his league position in terms of where he's dragging the team to, right? From most people mocking him for saying he finished 8th twice to now saying he finished 2nd twice in a row with a 5th place in between. If you were to take that same trajectory and take it to any other manager in the world and look over every other manager's career, Wenger's, Ferguson, I'm not comparing him to those guys. The only outlier in terms of manager that's existed like this is Pep. Pep's the only one whose first job went in and started winning the big things. There's no other manager that you can really think of in world football, not off the top of my head anyways, they can do that, right? So when you're trying to essentially denigrate Arteta by saying, "Oh, you know,"
did I say Arteta is shit? Wait, hold on.
No, but you're saying I didn't say he's shit.
Wait,
I said
let me
denigrate.
something, yeah, because people choose to
Zidane
choose to respond emotionally rather than listening to how I say it. Forget who I support, yeah, because that's how I know that you're out, isn't it? When I'm talking about whether I support United, whether I support whatever team, it don't matter. Arteta and Arsenal. Arteta is a good manager and Arsenal have a good team. Mo asked me, do they have it to win the league title? I said no. They don't. Because why? Because they don't have X factor. They don't have world-class players that can literally get their team and get it over the line. That's why you guys haven't won the league title last year, and that's why you've not won it the year before that. It's as simple as that.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question then. If Arsenal win the league this season, would your opinion change?
We've been hearing if for the past 3 years.
No. I must say this is a very direct question to you. If Arsenal win the league this season, will your opinion change?
If he wins the Premier League title this season, then I will credit him and say, you know what, well done.
No. Will your opinion? See, again, I'm asking you very, very.
He won't answer the question. Ahmed does not have the capacity. Ahmed doesn't have the capacity. Yeah, he doesn't. Don't worry about it.
It will change. So now, basically, you're saying basically, and then this is where the flaw in people's logic stands. You're basically saying, that if one thing changes, then even though the scenario I've said,
but yours is always hypotheticals. If I'm talking about the sample size that what I've seen, your logic is flawed. You're talking about a hypothetical. I'm talking about the sample size. My argument stands higher than your argument. It's true.
I agree. Wait. Listen, I accept your argument. What you're saying is true. He hasn't won, so you cannot put him in the pantheon of great managers. That is fine. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that though is your logic is so flawed and so basic by saying that he has to win for me to give him that credit. But then the minute he wins, you're giving him credit straight away. That makes no sense. You can say look, you can actually the better arguments would be basically like he's a really good manager, but he has to win, right? As opposed to saying they don't have the X factor. Because if Truss had scored a goal against Aston Villa, I know I'm saying if Truss had scored a goal against Aston Villa and Arsenal win the league by 1 point, this argument would be unnecessary. It was a goal line miss.
You know what the argument? Oh, sorry, Ahmed. Sorry. Do you know what the argument would have been? They're like, you guys only won it by 1 point. It's not just 1 point. What are you talking about? That's what Ahmed will be saying today. Ahmed does not have the capacity. I
literally said, of course.
Logically, no. Listen to words. No, listen. No. You do like you and I have gone back and forth on this many times. The reason that you speak this way is because it's very simple. You're going to look at whatever Arsenal does through a banter goggle as a Manchester United fan. If you're talking facts, right, I gave you numbers again. For you to sit there, like, okay, fine, your opinion, and your opinion is valid. Your opinion is that you don't think we have the X factor, so we're not going to win the league. I'm saying, okay, well, let me give you
until he does it. My opinion.
Hold on, listen. I said, no, listen. You've given your opinion, and I said my opinion for Arsenal is if you lose the league by 2 points last season, you just need your few right pieces to be able to get you over the line. To not like if we go the exact same way we went last season, and we have a couple of additions to this team. In those games that we needed to either not lose, which is like draw those games, not lose them entirely, like we did with Aston Villa, like maybe change the defensive structure, or bring in somebody else.
Can I ask you a question?
In those games, we win the league, right? So my point is having those pieces make it work. So yes,
okay,
we
so
are on track.
I don't know why we got to the manager talk, but I'm just gonna take it slightly to the X Factor talk because that I thought like was a much better topic to actually be discussing, right? So I feel like for me, the issue for me more so is that I feel like what Arsenal's really missing, I think, is the key moments person, the guy that you need to basically, maybe when you need to turn a loss to a draw or a draw to a win. That's really, I would argue, the guy that you might need that's going to be able to do that on a consistent basis. Doesn't mean he has to score the goal, but he can assist the goal in it or help to create it. That's what you really need. Like, again, whether that be the striker.
That's you basically saying that's you basically saying we just need to be more clinical in the games where we had, because against Aston Villa, Ahmed, it's about being it's about being clinical. Think about it. If you had the chance to score and you're not clinical enough, right, then you give that game away to the opponent. Basically, you've given that draw to them. Like, it was about being clinical in those moments. Now, can we get a player in that can be consistently clinical? Yes. Injuries is part of football. Nobody's praying that he gets injured. We brought in Jurriën Timber to try to fix the left back last season, and look at what happened at the beginning of the season. So we had to make do with Kyriel and then Tomiyasu's injury back and forth. So the whole left side was lopsided. It's no excuse for not winning the league, but it wasn't firing like when we had Granit Xhaka and when we had Zinchenko the season before. So my thing is, at the end of the day, fixing those little loopholes, right, is a sign that, look, where the weaknesses were last season. Where who cost us goals, Zinchenko. Where we made mistakes, and you're fixing those loopholes. The goals were not the problems. And like I keep saying, we should get a striker of a different profile. My thing is, even if that's the last person that we get before the window closes, I'm okay with that, because we still have a very solid team, and it's just those major pieces that need to come.
We're
not rebuilding.
Okay. Go ahead, Dio, because I need to ask a question about after this.
So like I said,
Justin is saying, go ahead. You don't. Go ahead, Dio. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said we're not rebuilding.
I was gonna read the super chat though.
Yeah, we're not rebuilding the whole squad. So my thing is, like, just that those little major pieces are the most important thing. And if we bring those in before the end of the transfer window, I'm happy. That's all.
Yeah, I think for me, my problem just becomes, and I'll say this again, you are. I feel like at times you might be asking for your players to be almost extremely consistent, like non-stop, like they can't make mistakes. Because if you're saying like reducing every single loophole, that's not necessarily going to be possible every single game. I can't hear what you're saying, bro. By the way, Olu, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
But as well, Ahmed. You don't need people have it mistaken. You don't need an amazing player in each position in order to win a league title. Klopp has won a league title with Jordan Henderson.
But we just said that, and you said you need an X factor player. I just said we need the right profile, but now you're saying
that's why I mentioned the manager.
Let me read the super chat. If I was an Arsenal fan, I still think need a striker, because they scored about 20 goals of set pieces and bailed them out multiple games. So you are going to be relying on so many set pieces. Again, that's the question to Arsenal fans.
Yes. Wait. Sorry. Set pieces are part of the game. The reason why you get a set piece coach is to teach your team how to defend them and to score them. If you get 12 corners a game, you try to make the best out of it. So again, sometimes when people try to do this false equivalency of, because you scored 20 last season, are you gonna do the same thing next year? It's like, well, yes, because the reason why you go on a training pitch is to learn how to capitalize from that. You have a tall enough team and a strong enough team at set pieces, you score more goals. It's simple logic.
And the second thing,
can I ask you a question, guys? I want to ask you a question regarding what you said.
Mo, can I quickly add to that? I apologize. Let me just.
Yes, go ahead.
The reason you get set pieces on your opponent's edge of the box or you get corner kicks is because you're also attacking very well. So the fact that you're winning those kind of set pieces then means that you're putting pressure on your opponent. So if you now get the set piece and you can convert it to a goal, great. It's part of the game. So when when people turn around and try to make it look like, oh, you were lucky with the set pieces, no, they train for it. It's like a boxer that has learned how to defend very well and avoid you hitting him, and then he knows how to counter you with the left hook. And then you're saying, why does he defend? Look at Mayweather. He's a defensive. No, it's part of the sport. I don't get that logic.
Yeah, again, so I think what people try to do sometimes when they try to make arguments, they try to pick on something and say basically, well, if this wasn't to happen, well, no, look, ask any coach out there, they'll probably tell you that set pieces is just important as you making 20 passes and scoring a goal. As long as you score a goal, that's what's important. So you have to practice for that. And this is coming from an Arsenal fan when we never used to score set pieces during the Wenger years, and it was bloody frustrating because we get so many corners, and it was basically a free counter attack for the other team.
Can I ask you the last question about this? And I want to ask everyone in the chat, guys, and just one word answer only. Is it better to have a team that is everything is spread, or to have at least one or two players that are leading the stats in one aspect? For example, a Cole Palmer, an Erling Haaland, a Kevin De Bruyne. Is it better to have a team like Arsenal? If you look at the stats last season, apart from the defensive stats, Arsenal players aren't leading anything. Oli Watkins leading this, Erling Haaland leading that, Mohamed Salah leading the chance creation. You know what I mean? Cole Palmer leading the goals and the assists together. Is it better to have a whole team, or to have, as Ahmed said, one guy that steps up and maybe get you 25 goals, 30 GA, 40 GA, something like that? What is better?
It's better to have both. Mohammed, it's better to have both, and I'll tell you why.
It's very hard to have.
Hold on. Let me give you an example. City have both. They have De Bruyne, Rodri, and then they have Haaland, the goal machine. So City have the best of both worlds. They have players who are very, very good. They've got Silva. They've got players. Foden. They have players who are very, very good, but they also have this goal machine, right? So they have a squad that anybody can score. Any one of these players I mentioned right now can score for City, right? Easily. We all know that. But yet they still have that guy that can give them the GA. So it's better to have both in my books. Now, how easy is it for you to find?
No.
So if I need to pick one, if I need to pick one, I would pick the team. I would pick spread across the team and not one goal person, because if my goal machine goes down with an injury, then I'm screwed. So I would pick a team because I'd feel like at the end of the day, if my defense can come in and contribute a few goals, if an assist, great. If my midfield can contribute a few goals, great. But I would say personally, it's better to have both. And very few teams have both. Chelsea have Palmer and didn't have the team around him. If Chelsea had those guys really pumping around,
but Chelsea team in comparison with Arsenal is
no. I agree. I'm just saying, like, they didn't have both. They had
you have a back four that are superior.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Everyone in the league,
I agree. I'm saying that they just had Palmer and they didn't have.
I've got a good example.
We had a team and we didn't have that person. That's
Man City won both. By the way, Man City won both in the 2 seasons. Two seasons ago. Sorry, like 3 years ago. They literally won the league with no one is leading. Mohamed Salah was leading this guy, Harry Kane was leading that, and they won the league. And then the season after, they had Haaland. Kevin De Bruyne was leading the assist, and Erling Haaland was leading the goals.
Yeah.
Last season, they didn't have it. But the difference is Pep Guardiola knows how to fix a system if it's broken. Mid-season, he did it twice.
Yes, he did.
Fixed it twice. Actually, 3 times. Actually, 3 times he fixed it. Twice. 3 times.
I think he does it more times than we actually recognize. Because I think in his head, like I tell you, he's a mad genius. I'm sure he watches he sees so many mistakes that happen during the season. We just don't see it until it becomes obvious. But when
until we find the system that is working perfectly.
Exactly.
Like, oh my God. How didn't we pick on that?
4 weeks. It was 4 weeks ago. He's already figured out there was a problem and he's already fixing it. So that guy's a mad genius. I saw him trying to do coaching for basketball, and I said, "This guy just does not stop. I hate him. He's
he's doing too much."
The point I was going to make though is this, right? And there's a great example, which was Swansea. Do you remember when they had Michu for the first season and he scored something odd goals, and they basically based all the attack around him. And the next season he just faltered. He was not the same player.
He flopped.
And you can see that the system was broken because they had catered so much to that one player that once he wasn't scoring, like they went from being a team that was threatening to make Europe to a team which was very, I think they either got relegated or very close to being relegated that season, right?
They almost got relegated, because they got Bunny after the season after. Exactly.
And this is the problem when you start creating a team around one player. And even Pep, and we might say, Pep, has done it now with catering towards Haaland scoring all the goals. It's still very much a system built towards Haaland, eventually Haaland scoring a goal. That's why last season, when Haaland went down injured, they were still scoring goals. Like, it wasn't like all of a sudden they went from, people were saying Man City not as good last year, which I think, again, is always I think there's been, I'm not going to say much in that. But the reality is they're still scoring goals, they're still winning matches. So in reality, your system is more important than having just one player that you rely on. And when teams start building towards just one player, that's when you start to see that there's going to be a problem. Because if that player also decides, I'm going to leave, I'm tired. We had it with Van Persie. Van Persie said, I'm leaving Arsenal. And all of a sudden we went from, okay, we've got a great striker to, oh shit, what do we do here? You know what I mean? So yeah, I wouldn't.
I want to move on from this last point, last part of the show before we move on, because Ahmed has to do. Guys, stay here, don't go anywhere. Ahmed is doing a watch along for Chelsea Real Madrid. This will take you to his channel. It's Manchester United in the search of a DM. The Ugarte deal is told, the center back. Where are you going with the center back? McTominay now is staying. I think Man United are doing the right moves. They just need that DM, because you cannot have the season when Casemiro is starting again.
Yeah, I've been hearing he's been getting cooked in preseason. He's not been looking good, yeah?
Bro, Fabio Carvalho sent him to the bakery to get some bread, and he's not come back yet, bro.
Oh, do you remember 2 years ago when the order kept flexing was
when your mom used to go get some bread or something, and then you're like 2 hours there. What are you? I'm just with my friends, like I met this guy and we're just hanging out, What are you? I'm hanging out.
Like I said, it was so.
Casemiro is not back yet, bro. He's still getting the bread.
It was so funny for 2 years ago. They were literally flexing his 4 Champions League trophies.
No, but he was fantastic the first season. He was amazing, bro. He was amazing.
You know what it is in the first season, though? You know what it is in the first season? What people forget, is that we was playing in a pivot, and who did he have next to him? He had Fred that would cover the ground for him. So that worked really well, because them two, Casemiro and Fred, even played next to each other for Brazil. So every time them two were played, they were really good. The problem is that we're seeing all of Casemiro's weaknesses, because he's left isolated alone in the midfield. There's a huge midfield gap, and that comes down to the manager and the system. So when Casemiro is getting cooked left, right, and center, it's not purely his fault. It's down to the whole structure and how the manager sets his team, which is why when it comes to buying midfielders, it's obviously essential, but you can buy, this is always my stance, you can buy whatever midfielder you want. Yes, they will improve, but if the system is still flawed, then the problems are still going to occur. Do you get me? I still want a player like a Zubamendi, a number 6, who's good on the ball and who can spray passes. I would like him. Ugarte, for me, 1 is too much money, and 2, I'm not trying to see us pay 60 mil for a guy who just wins the ball back, and I don't think he's been that great for PSG either. So
I told you about Ugarte and PSG.
Yeah, he's not someone that he doesn't move the needle, in my opinion. Like, his profile is something we might need, but I think we can do better than him, which is why Zubamendi is a better option for me. With McTominay, I'm pretty sure
if you get Zubamendi, you're cooked.
Well, that's what I'm.
You're done.
Mo. So Mo, look, I like
know why you're cooked, right?
I like how he's been how he put context around Casemiro. When it comes to his club and his team, he's very
what context did I not add?
No.
This is Arsenal. This is United talk. It's not Arsenal.
I'm not talking about Arsenal. You just mentioned Arsenal. I'm talking about your team. I didn't say anything about Arsenal. I said I simply just said I like how you put the context around Casemiro. When it's players like Casemiro and you're talking about McTominay, you know how to put the context around them. I haven't mentioned Arsenal. I haven't said anything about I haven't mentioned any of my players.
What's the point you're trying to get at, though?
I like that you are able to put context. So you're basically showing me that you do understand how to put context. So I would like you to apply the same context anytime you're having conversations about other people's teams and not just talk through banter. Carry on.
It's not banter, though. It's not banter.
No, just carry on. I now know you.
I'm actually being honest.
I now know you know context. So that's.
I'm being straight. Can I ask a question?
Go on.
Because this is brilliant. You said something because it stuck to me and it's like really eating at me, right? So Casemiro, the best of Casemiro came when he was next to someone who could run. Like you said, Fred, right? His Brazilian team.
The system was different as well. We played with a pivot.
Right?
Last season we played with a double pivot, and last season we played with a single pivot.
And then so basically you took out Fred and you put in Starboy, the next best thing since sliced bread, Merino, and all of a sudden he gets exposed. I mean, are we saying that?
I don't know what he's trying to talk about with Kobe.
Are you trying to say Merino is the reason? Are you trying to say Merino is the reason why Casemiro is having to be by himself, like in the middle of the park by himself?
Like I said,
Merino's not there
instantly.
Legs. I'm just saying. I'm just asking.
Instantly, this tells me that you don't know who Kobe is and you've misprofiled him because first of all, he's not a number 6, and secondly, he's not someone who covers ground. If you watch Kobe Mino, all of his best attributes are literally him going forward and driving with the ball. So he's not a number 6. He's a number 8. First of all, Casemiro is a 6.
Okay,
So Mino has nothing to do with this yet. I said to you that
okay.
the structure of this team that is literally implemented by the manager is the issue, which is why I keep it consistent and said that even if we do address the problems that we have in this team, it still comes down to the manager and how he uses it. Because you can give a guy so many tools, but when the guy doesn't know what he's doing with it, you're going to see the same problems, even if you add the quality. Do you get me? So it's not purely.
I'm
so
just
it's not
triggering
purely.
you.
Yeah, I know you're trolling.
I am triggering you.
No. But what I'm saying is that people saying Kobe's overrated. This is how I know people. See, it's a United agenda, innit? But like I said, United have caused a lot of nightmares when they were growing up. It's not my fault. No, it's true though. It's true, innit? That's why they're rattled about Mino. But anyway, now with McTominay is someone we should be selling. I saw a report saying that obviously Fulham are moving away, but United are willing to compromise on selling for 25 mil. We should be getting rid of that guy. That guy has overstayed at the club for so many years. I've never rated him. Even when he was bagging goals last year, he's awful. Like he's not a United player. Do you get it? And with Ugarte, I'm glad we moved on from him because 60 million is not worth it. And secondly, we need someone who's good on the ball that can help out the other midfielders. Do you get it? Who can pass. So yeah.
Can I just I mean, and again, I'm gonna stop the bantering. Listen, Kobe Mino is a good player. I'm just messing around with you. Like you said, you know this already, anyways. We joke around all the time. I'll say this though: the thing that for me that shows maybe progress for Man United, like you said, is one, moving away from that deal, because I think 60 million is just the sins of the past. Like, how many times in the past have Man United gone in and bought a player for X amount of money, and they've got this name, and then it comes to United and actually fail? I mean, Di Maria is one example. You think about Alexis Sanchez. So yes, there's something in there that is good. But I think the thing that still worries me is not just the midfield, it's also your defense. And if you guys go and get De Ligt and you go and get that right back, you're just repeating the same issues that you had on the
I think De Ligt is not a bad signing, especially when Linior is going to come back. I think
it's 7 years. It's 7 years since De Ligt was like playing at a level.
Ahmed is going to go, guys. Ahmed is going to go.
Ahmed, man.
Take care, man.
Please. It's 7 years. I mean, at some point we have to start admitting that a player is not going to fulfill that potential. 7 years is a very long time.
I think I think De Ligt is a good move. I think De Ligt is a good move for them.
But you know what it is, though? Go on.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say. Go on, you go.
I was going to say, De Ligt is not someone who I think is like amazing. I don't think he's rubbish either. I don't mind us getting players that are just decent in it. Not every signing has to be world class. Do you get it? So
yeah, he's not going to come in and like the Premier League. I think he's going to come and do the job.
Exactly. If we get him for 30, 35 million, 24, I don't see the issue. We've already got we just bought Euro for 42 mil who's injured. We need a centre back. Whether you like De Ligt or not, we don't just need De Ligt. We need 2 extra centre backs because Maguire is not good. Lindelof, we're trying to get rid of him, and Johnny Evans as a bench player. Come on, we don't want to be relying on Johnny Evans. We need at least 2 centre backs. We know Lisandro Martinez gets loads of injuries every now and then. So if we can't be relying on Lisandro because his injury record's not great. Do you get it? So we need to be careful when it comes to the defense, which is why I emphasize so much on us getting more than just De Ligt. That's what we need. We did the Mazraoui thing, yeah. We do need a fullback, but I don't know why we're going for a guy who's. I know he can play left back, but I would rather us go for a proper left back who's an out and out left back. We don't need another fullback on the right. Do you get me? Because Dalot can play that position, and he can also play on the left, so he can play both sides. If we just get a left back who's predominantly up and down the pitch, because Luke Shaw's not good, he's not reliable, and Malacia, he had a car crash and he's out for 2 months, so he's out as well. So
I think Malacia's done. Listen.
Can we do some prayers?
Dumfries. I'm saying Dumfries, brother. Dumfries is awful. He is awful, man.
Can we do some guys? If you're religious or not, can we just do some prayers for what's his name, the left back you just mentioned,
Malacia?
Yeah, Malacia, because that guy's cursed, and we need to take whatever curses on him. Yeah. We need to just take that curse away from him. Like, it's gone past football. It's gone to a point where I'm worried for this guy's life. He goes from having horrendous injuries to having car crashes. We need serious.
They were saying that he was in prison. Like, I'm telling you,
bro. If Inter can get some money for Dumfries and shift him to Manchester United, I'll be the happiest guy on earth. Until we get freaking Wan-Bissaka. Listen, guys, 15 likes away or 25 likes away from 300. Hit that like button, people. Get the likes up. We're just gonna end the year. People are getting ready for the Chelsea Real Madrid game. We'll see you guys soon. I want to thank Ahmed. AA United is here. Of course, his channel's in the description. Dio, Banter on the Pitch, back on the show from the studio. Always here. And Ahmed, of course, Chelsea fan. This channel is going to take you to a show. Read us watch-alongs. Appreciate everyone that joined us. Appreciate everyone that watched us. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And we are out of here, people.
Peace.
Peace.